Hey, what's going on, YouTubers? You know we're waiting for our Facebook family to come online. Gotta actually bring them online. All right, midday. All right, so let me get them set up, get them ready to go so they're playing with us too. All right. Hey, here we go. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Motivational Midday Mix. I'm your guy, Marcus. We're going to be talking some motivation today, get you through the day. And today we're talking about defense mode. So for those of you guys who know what I do is I like to bring a positive spin. There's enough negativity out in the world. We don't need all that. Sometimes people just need a little nudge and maybe a little bit of understanding of why they're going through what they are to get them to the next level. That's what I provide here. Just a little bit of kind words and heartfelt spoken word that really might settle into you. If you listen to them and you don't block them out, then you might actually get something and it might be able to change your life. And that's a great way to segue into what we're talking about, which is defense mode. Now, I want to go through a couple things, three particular situations. So if you guys have ever taken a boxing class, with a boxing class, whenever you're taking a boxing class, the first thing they teach you in boxing class is what? Put your hands up, right? So you want to protect yourself so that whenever you're moving, you're bobbing, you're weaving, they throw a punch, okay, you can block and return with the other hand, or vice versa, depending on what hand you are. Block and return with the other hand. So they teach you to block. And that's kind of the way life has been. As life goes on, we kind of teach people, to block, So we put that defense mechanism up, and so we keep moving and we block whatever's coming in. So I want to kind of I don't know if you guys know anything about Star Trek, but Star Trek, my dad used to watch as a kid, and I can just picture the Star Trek episodes where the captain's sitting in the captain's chair right here, and the guys are like, "Captain, they're firing at us." And he's like, "Put up the shields." And so they put the shields up, the shields are there, and they're blocking, and then they're returning fire, like, "Return fire!" And those choo, 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 choo. You know what I'm saying? And I picture that when I do this video, and that's why I'm kind of smiling, because I'm about to redo it again, okay? So I want you to picture that whole Star Trek. You got the captain sitting here. "Captain, they're firing their phasers. Put up the shields." And they put the shields up, right? And they're like, "Captain, they're not shooting at us. They're shooting somewhere else." "Oh, well, put the phasers back down. Or put the shields back down." The end. Yes, I know. I'm a great actor. Thank you. So the reason I use that particular situation to describe what's about to happen here is because in the first situation, the captain put the shields up to block because they were firing directly at them. And there was a possibility of that damage being done to the ship. And understand, they're in deep space, so there's not ways they can kind of go to a hospital. The hospital's in there. So if something happens, they're going down, they've got to block it all, right? So they don't want to, obviously, they don't want to be destroyed. They want to live, and, so they put the shields up to protect themselves. Follow me here. The second example, they put the shields up because they were firing. They put the shields up, but then all of a sudden they realized, wait a second, they're not firing at us. So there's no reason to have the shields up. You get what I'm saying? So if I told you you were a stupid, rambunctious teenager right now, you'd be like, "What? I don't really care." Because I'm pretty sure my audience that watches this is nowhere near there because I don't have a lot of little kids watching my videos. Most of us are adults. So if I told you were a rambunctious teenager, you'd be like, "Dude, you're being dumb." You notice that whenever I said that, you didn't throw your phasers up. You didn't throw your defense up. You didn't throw your shields up. But if I told you you were a bad parent, or if I told you you were a worthless something else, and I started just going in and saying things, you would put your defenses up and start fighting back and firing back those phasers, right? Shields going up, boom, and you're going to start firing back. Or they're throwing punches, and you're going to block to throw that jab, right? Or that hook cross, or whatever they call it. I don't know. I'll ask my trainer tonight. By the way, hello, Jenna. Hello, AJ. So I want you to think about this in perspective. If you're in a fight with somebody, right, and they aren't throwing any punches and they're not even paying attention to you, are you going to stay like this? No, because there's no need. We don't walk around in defense mode. We don't walk around protecting ourselves. We only protect ourselves whenever something's coming at us that we need to defend. The reason I brought this up is because I don't know how many times personally I have actually gotten offended by somebody saying something just to realize that the reason that I'm offended is because there's truth in it. This is big, ladies and gentlemen. This is big. Follow me here. So we don't get defensive unless something is coming at us. If it's directed towards us or something that we have held on to. If it's something that we have problems, mentally we have problems with. For example, if I said you're ugly, some of you wouldn't be saying, they would, nah, okay, whatever, I'm not ugly. I know I'm not, you know. But some people, like myself probably, if somebody said that to me directly, I'd be a little bit defensive. Why? Because there have been times in my life that I have felt like I'm not an attractive guy. Now, I will get defensive on that and maybe lash out, maybe lash back. But my walls and my defenses go up when things I feel actually represent me are poked at. If you said, man, you are a shark, like an actual shark from the ocean. You are a great white shark, DeMarcus. I'm like, that's the dumbest thing I've ever heard. Because I'm not defensive because I know I'm not a shark or anything else. You get what I'm saying? So it's the things that we feel that we have connection to and that we've actually placed into our basket of things that we feel about ourselves that we protect ourselves from. So a young lady was actually asking me a question the other day, and she asked me, she said, what are you doing now? And this is where this video came from. And as soon as she said that, I went into defense mode. I'm like, and I stopped because, like I said, when you start to enlighten yourself, you start to notice where you're going faulty. You start to focus in. That's the great thing about it, is that I can recognize now, you know, if somebody says something to me, why I'm getting defensive or that I am getting defensive. So I can start backtracking and figure out why. And when she said that, I started getting defensive. I was like, wait a second, why are you asking me that question? And I started thinking, I was like, wait a second, she's only trying to ask me what I'm doing right now to find out more about me to see if, you know, we can work together or if I can help her out with something or if I have time or whatever or see what's new or just being kind. But I took it as a point where she was, well, in my heart, I was like, oh, well, she's, you know, I don't need to tell her what I'm doing. It's what I'm doing. It's what I want to do. I don't have to. But the defense mechanism is that I felt like I'm not doing enough, that my answer wasn't going to represent who I actually wanted to be or who I was. It was just a matter of me answering a question. So what I want you to do is when you start to feel yourself getting very defensive when somebody asks you a question, or if you feel yourself getting defensive when somebody says something to you that may be true in your mind, I want you to stop for a second and realize and take a second and say, why do I feel like I need to be defensive? Why do I feel like I need to protect myself from this? There was a time where me and a friend of mine, a good friend of mine, we got into a little spat. This is pretty deep. And he was pissed. He was having a bad night. He thought I was doing something I wasn't doing. And he decided, he was far, far away. We were on the phone. And he called me the N-word. So some of you guys know the story, some of you don't. And I was furious. Absolutely furious. And so luckily I was far away and I couldn't get to him because at that time I was so mad I would have probably tried to beat the brakes off this guy, right? And as time went on, I decided to eliminate this guy from my life because obviously I don't want negativity in my life. I said, I don't want this. I moved away. But as time went on, I started to realize two things. One, I had an emotional attachment to that word in one way, shape, or form that put anger inside of me. For whatever reason, there was something inside of me that decided to attach to that word and decided to deem that word as a negative word. Now, it is not a positive word, but what I'm saying is that I didn't have to have the connection to that word. It was the fact that I decided to be hurt by that word that got me angry. And the second thing is that I realized that the reason that he utilized that word and decided to come after me is because he was lashing out at his own pain. Now, when somebody is coming at you, they're making fun of you, even just to joke with you, they're making fun of you, they're clowning you, they're coming at you with some form of pain. And they're trying to take you off and knock you off your keel. Because if I have this thing here and it's standing, and I don't like the way it's standing, the only way for me to get it not to stand is to kind of hit it a little bit and knock it down. And so people will take their own pain and knock you down with it. And you may not even realize that's what they're doing. But that's exactly what they're doing. They're going through something that's allowing them to lash back out. They put up their defense walls because for whatever reason, whatever you're doing, whether it's positive or negative, whatever you're doing is going to make them uneasy and they need to lash out. I can tell you right now that the world is designed, the people in the world are designed to need to fight back because they feel like they've been addressed incorrectly. And so what you need to understand is one, When you put your walls up, you're putting your walls up for one reason and one reason alone. And that's the fact that you feel some kind of connection to whatever they're saying. Now, if you're able to work through whatever they're saying, now figure out if something gets you mad and then work through it, now all of a sudden it's not the same. Because now you say, wait a second, I can move past this. I'm not a bad mom. I'm not fat. I'm not dumb and stupid. I'm not ugly. I'm not an idiot. I'm not this. I'm not, you see what I'm saying? Like all these words that people might say to us are things that we've decided to tell ourselves, or, oh yeah, I am that. Oh yeah, let me put this in my basket. Oh yeah, I am that. Wait a second, let me put this in my basket. And then this is our basket of shame that we don't even like to have. But when somebody says something that's in our basket, now we're fight mode. And that's what we need to realize. And two, understand that when people are coming at you with their negativity, where they're coming at you, where they're throwing words, blows, whatever you want to call them, they're coming at you because they are uneasy and they are hurting and they're in pain and they don't feel good about themselves. And somebody might have hit them with something that got them and knocked them into what they're carrying. So this is what I need you to do. Next time somebody says something to you and you find yourself getting angry, stop before you say anything and say, why am I mad about this? What about this is making me mad? Am I actually what they say I am? And if I am, then how can I change it? That's number one. Who cares if you are what they say? You are what they say you are. So who cares if you are that? Because the idea behind it is recognizing that you are what they said and you don't like it. So now you got to put change in to get to the next level. So you're no longer that. So if they call you that again, it doesn't faze you. And the second thing I need you to do is to realize that you're putting up your defenses to protect yourself from what they're saying. And the only reason you're doing that is because you have not worked through any situation that you need to work through. You're not anything other than what you believe you are. And the problem is our society is designed to help us to talk down to ourselves on a regular basis. Look at TV. Our TV and media is showing women half dressed and skinny as hell with six-pack abs and promiscuous as all get out. So guess what? Even our cartoons are a little bit racy. But guess what? That's creating our society. So a lot of things that we kind of put on ourselves is based on what we see on TV. So try taking TV, radio, and all the other stuff away and see who you actually become. I tell you right now, you take the news away, you'll stop being scared. I may not know about what's coming up in upcoming events, but I'll tell you right now, I don't feel the same way with negativity consistently bombarding me, and the conversations I have are different. So that's all I have for you, ladies and gentlemen. Take those hands and put them down. There's no need to fight. There's no need to block and protect yourself, ladies and gentlemen. The only time you do that is if you actually feel like you're being threatened. Now, the cool thing about it is that you get to choose what actually threatens you. And you get to choose what actually comes at you and what hits you. There's no need to put your shield up if they're firing phasers, especially if you decide that you're not the one they're talking about. They can call me a lot of things, and I've been called a lot of things in my time. And usually when I get defensive, it's the things I get, even now, when I get defensive, it's things that I choose not to portray about myself, that they seem to be real. Because people will actually try to hit on something that they feel about you, that they pick up on. And so you've got to protect yourself in all ways, shape, and form. But the way you protect yourself is through here and realizing you aren't what they say you are, or accepting it and changing it, or accepting it and saying, yes, I am a champion. And then that's how you get to the next level. And that's all I have for you, ladies and gentlemen. I don't want you going out there today with your guard up. I want you going out there embracing. The cool thing about the difference is, check this out, and then I'll get off of here. When you put your guard up, right? When you put your guard up, the one thing you can't do is embrace somebody. The only way to embrace somebody, because you got your guard up, you're protecting yourself, right? Face and heart, protecting yourself. You put your guard up. But the one thing you can't do is embrace. The only way to embrace somebody is to unprotect your heart and your head, and all your other vital organs, and extend and open yourself up for attack. That's the only way you can do it. And the cool thing is if somebody might attack you for a little bit, but if you can embrace them and you get them close enough, they can't throw punches at you any longer. By opening up your heart and your head and opening up your vitals to take a punch or two, take a little bit of punch, you might be able to make a friend and realize that maybe these people aren't so different from you. And the reason that they're coming at you the way they are is because they might be jealous of you, or they might want what you have, or they might be going through some things in their life that they want to change. So that's all I have, ladies and gentlemen. So instead of putting your guard up, there's no need for that. Open yourself up. Open yourself up to hug somebody. Open yourself up to let somebody hit you. And by doing that and by being vulnerable, you'll actually draw in more people. Eventually, you'll start to realize the people who are making fun of you, the people who are calling you names, and trust me, I've been through a lot of making fun of you. You see my head? All my wrinkles in my head? Man, I protected myself from that in high school college, I had to embrace that. It wasn't until I embraced it that I realized, wait a second, I'm not a bad person. I'm not unattractive, even though sometimes it comes to my mind, but every once in a while. But it's the things that we feel about ourselves that we've had building up for years and years and years and years that really are getting sensitive. So embrace it. Open up. Don't guard. Don't set the defense. Don't put your shields up. Embrace somebody. Open up your heart. Open up your body and let somebody in. And you never know what exactly will happen. All right, ladies and gentlemen, that's all I have. Thank you for staying with me for 15 minutes. I guess I felt like talking today, but I appreciate you being here. And we'll talk soon. Have a blessed day. Enjoy your weekend. Be safe. And remember, I believe and I love in each and every single one of you. And if you need a hug, I got you. Talk to you soon. Bye now.